The March PTR patch notes for New World are finally live, and they look really, really interesting. So they've changed a lot of stuff. It's not going to be like, you know, the most game-changing thing ever. It's not going to totally change the game, but there are some little tweaks and big changes that are absolutely going to change the landscape of the game. It's actually kind of crazy. First off, Blunderbuss is coming to the game. Second off, defending wars is going to be obnoxiously difficult now because defenders are going to spawn in the fort and not around the point. So basically, for most sieges, it's going to come down to fort defense rather than point defense. The points are going to get capped in most wars, and it's about how long can you stall that process. And then the fort is where you're actually going to have to hold for real. So defending is going to be significantly harder. There are all sorts of crazy changes like that coming to the March PTR and to this game in March. Let's go through it together, though. Let's pop up the patch notes. So these are the patch notes. They're going to add more throughout the month. So every week they'll have more stuff they probably added. Spotlight. So they added a new expedition. I'm assuming this is the one at the end of Murkgard. I would assume the one where it's been locked since launch, even though it was open in the beta. Which is, there's the cathedral at the end with Captain Thorpe in it. You kill him, get back there, and there's a dungeon apparently. Anyway, main storyline, finale quest, and more. Main story quest line picks up as you pursue whatever, so it gives you more main story to get you there. And then new weapon, Blunderbuss. The containment tree is about closing the gap and unloading hot lead in the enemy's face. And the chaos tree is about focusing on keeping your distance and bombarding areas with AoE. And it is going to scale on strength and intelligence. So bruiser builds, mage builds, people will find a lot of creative builds with strength intelligence scaling. New legendary weapon quest for the Blunderbuss. And then we have some really interesting stuff in world experience. So there's new stuff to explore. There's world paintings. You can find each territory, put them in your house. There's this thing called Rafflebones, the loot collector. And you'll find him randomly all over the map. And when you find him, you have 45 seconds to kill him or else he'll flee. And if you kill him, you'll get a named weapon. And if you're level 60, you'll also be given an obsidian gypsum. And if you're zone level 60, you'll get 50 or 500 umbral shards if you are level 60. So that's crazy way to get umbral shards. I'm sure that he'll be pretty rare and inconsistent though, but we'll see how they do it. And then Stinky the Hunter. So he can drop 3 named items for level 30 players. They're about Weaver's Fen, making Weaver's Fen less awful. I don't know what they thought could go wrong with making a swamp and why nobody would want to go there. Forgotten Yeti. These Yetis drop level 45 elite rewards. You can find them in Frozen Wastelands of Great Cleave. Roadside encounter. New random roadside encounters in Weaver's Fen and Restless Shore. Unbound Island. Revamp the layout of the experience. Blah, whatever. It's level 30 stuff. And then more stuff for Weaver's Fen. And then bug fixes. I don't recall anything crazy in here when I read it. And then general fixes for this stuff. It's whatever. But now we have another interesting change. So the AIs, you can no longer leash AI to get people killed. They don't randomly target swap anymore. You have to actually attack them or like if someone walks near them, the first person to walk near them now has aggro. The other person's free to go and it'll never go to them now. Whereas before they would just chain around randomly to nearby players. So you have to actually attack them to get aggro once someone else has the aggro. And then grace period when they spawn in 5 seconds after they spawn. They will not aggro unless they're damaged during that time. And OPR AI does not use that algorithm. So that was the main thing with that. All this is bug fixes for random specific enemies. Now expeditions, only one person is required at the entrance and the others will pour in. Nice quality of life change there. Mutators, the named AI is weaker and the bosses are stronger. And that's pretty much everything with that. Okay, so combat. You can now open your inventory while moving. This is a big change everybody wants, but do keep in mind you can't change your equipment while you're in combat. And the new combat system, when you enter combat, your health bar and stamina bars become visible. Cross sword icon appears to the right of your health bar. During this, you will not be able to change abilities or equipment. And it replaces the previous functionality. Blah, 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 whatever. Okay. General fixes. I don't recall anything crazier other than road speed boost. Now it applies to players using emotes that allow movement, so like the galloping one, which would be hilarious. Healing efficiency modification was incorrectly being capped at 50 instead of 100, so now it can go higher. And then the big thing, which is if you don't have ammo in your bow or your musket, you can still fire it, and it will just do normal damage. The whole point of having better arrows is to do additional damage. So the higher level arrows still are usable, but you can still fire without arrows, which is nice. Very nice quality of life for bow musket players. Because of this, flint arrows have been removed from the game. Also, max ammo stacks are now 1,000 instead of 500. So Blunderbuss, they repeated themselves, and then there's some changes to different things. Fire Staff, the burning effect got a buff, sort of. It's net neutral, but like all the damage goes faster. So basically, if you get the burning thing, it'll apply its damage faster, making it more likely to kill you before you get a heal off. Great Axe, you can't charge through deep water anymore. They actually did this not just Great Axe. Any ability that lets you dash, like Flèche or whatever it's called, any of those, they don't let you traverse into deep water anymore. They fixed on all classes. And then just nothing, there was nothing insane. There's probably something insane, but you guys know your own class. If anything totally crazy, a bug fix that suddenly was actually important, let me know. I know the Life Staff one, though. There was light and heavy attacks can now be canceled by self-targeted heals, which is really nice, because before, if you were charging a heavy and you changed your mind, you wanted to heal, you had to wait till the animation of the attacking was done. So it makes survivability very, very slightly higher. And then musket, bug fixes and stuff. I can't remember if there's anything crazy in these guys. If you know your class, let's go through yourself. I'll link this in the description below the first paragraph. And then items. So in items, there was, they are reworking the damage ward perks from using Amethyst and using Sapphire and all that. They now all scale the same. Amethyst used to scale higher, and also they increase the amount that they absorb, so that's a nice one. And even the melee one, Thrust / Strike, that one also got increased, but not by very much. And mainly at the high end. And then other than that, I can't remember, there's things that change in here, like bleeding duration increased on bloodletting ring perk. Burning duration increased, so they made it stronger, which because nobody used it anyway, so maybe now it'll be usable. We'll have to see the math on that. And then game modes, consumables auto-equip from OPR. Elite boss arenas will now give 50 umbral shards. Not very many, but hey, that's something. Here's some big changes. Players can now queue for wars and invasions on their map, and defenders will no longer be able to respawn on points A, B, and C. They can only respawn inside of their fort. And they also increase quality and quantity of rewards from wars. Increase quality and quantity of rewards players receive from invasions. And in OPR, you can no longer go into the down state. You die immediately, which is kind of sad. I have fond memories of one of our guys dying, and I body blocked for him while another guy got up, so people shoot me in the back so they could get him up. And man, that was a fun moment. I'm going to miss moments like that. But anyway, that was their cop-out way of fixing the kill credit. So instead of finding a way to make sure that even though the guy got downed, that the guy who downed him is the one who gets credit, apparently in the code, I assume they could not find an easy way to fix that. So they just gave up and made it so you can't be downed. That's my assumption on what happened there. So killing credit now goes to the player. Killing enemies instead of the player puts them into death's door. Well, yeah, no, of course that fixed it, because there is no death's door anymore. Anyway, okay. Players also now receive score for contesting a control point. Remember, this is going to come at the end of March, by the way, guys. But it'll be nice when it does. A starter beach, you get pick some weapons at the start to pick for your play style. Also, durability loss. Only your equipped items will take durability loss when you die. That's important. They repeated themselves. Snipes available from the map for invasions and wars. This one's really interesting. It'll help me a lot since I'm a trader when I play. They remove the cost associated with moving items between your territory or storage, and your faction no longer needs to own the territory to transfer between storages. Oh, that'll be real nice. That'll be real nice for me as a trader. Player-to-player collision removed from open world expeditions and invasions. Interesting, but not OPR and wars, which makes sense. So you don't, PvP, it's important. Fast travel is now more responsive going short distances. And nothing crazy in here. Quest updates. I don't recall anything insane in here. And then, this was a repeat. I thought they were going to add it in February, but I guess they didn't. And then in here is just fixed issues. I don't recall anything in here that was insane when I read it. Maybe there was, but I don't recall. And now for economy, players will get half of their original purchase cost back when abandoning a house. Double the storage bonus from chests. And adjusted the description of store chests to better indicate the benefits they provide. And same for trophies. Also, rewards. Here's an interesting one for you guys. Harvest log and mine to uncover hidden stashes of earthly rewards. Elemental motes, coin, and diamond gypsums are waiting to be uncovered as you gather on a tournament. Man, they have full confidence they fixed the bot issue, I suppose, which I'm going to investigate in a few days. We're going to see if they actually fixed the bots, because they had a whole month where 1/3 of their entire objective was to fix bots, and I'm very curious if they actually did it, because that's some confidence right there that they fixed it. Alright, so, elite boss arena keys may now drop from enemies in surrounding elite zones. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then fix an issue with invasion weapon drop being extremely rare. Crafting, the amount of materials for elite arena tuning ore has been reduced. Let's see, 3 runestone instead of 5, and 3 instead of 5 for the specific materials. There was this. New perks have been added to the world. New perk items have also been added more perks, but this time they haven't told us, so I don't know what they are. You have to go to the PTR to find out, apparently. All this was irrelevant except for the bottom one. Daily cooldowns now refresh each day at 5 a.m. in each server's region's time zone. Weekly cooldowns refresh each Tuesday at 5 a.m. in each server's region's time zone. Biggest change, so important. They must have saw how much people like that from Lost Ark, and we're like, let's do that. And that's a smart idea. That makes way more sense than how they had it before. That's really nice. All right, and that is everything for the PTR patch notes. Big changes coming to this game. I like the war one in some ways. It will be nice that people can't just hold territories forever. Although I can tell you, as someone who has owned territories, it will be very, very stressful. It's very stressful because you have a lot of weight on your shoulders, and you feel people hold you responsible for not being able to defend, even though it'll probably be really hard to defend. So it's just going to be tough for a few people, but I guess for the bulk of the players, it'll be a really nice change. The OPR changes look nice. Storage changes look nice. There's a lot of things that looked really, really good. So I'm excited about that patch. I think that patch is heading in the right direction for sure. It's going to take time to get this game where everyone wants it to be, but that's definitely a step in the right direction. I liked all the things a lot with the umbral shards, like the random enemy and stuff that gives umbral shards, and you know, the arena bosses giving umbral shards. Giving more ways to get them outside of just mutators is really important. And I still am a big advocate for fishing competitions. I really want to see something for fishing competitions someday. I honestly would not even participate because I'm not someone into fishing, but I just know there's people out there that would absolutely love it to have fishing competitions, and you catch the biggest fish in 30 minutes and you win umbral shard. I say that at the end of every patch notes now. I always think about that. That, and in the long term, I want to see, you know, cross-server PvP arenas, cross-server OPR, cross-server things, so when servers dies, people aren't just totally screwed. Because right now, if you're on a 100-pop server, you're just done. You can't even play the game, basically. It's just a single-player game. But, yeah, patch looks good. I like it. It's going the right direction. I'm very excited about the future of this stuff. I know right now I'm covering other games still. Right now I'm kind of on this crazy Elden Ring binge for content. But once that dies down in a few weeks, then it'll probably be this game, Lost Ark, and Elden Ring will be the main 3 I'm doing, unless some other crazy game comes out. But the game cycle's finally dying, guys. It's finally over. There were like 7 major releases back-to-back, and I'm finally at the end of it. I can't wait to get back to a more chill grind between my favorite games. But anyway, this has been the March PTR patch notes. That's what to expect. Changes are looking good. Lots of new stuff, lots of important tweaks coming to New World.